The Great Ramakien Adventure, Cosmic Beginnings and the Dawn of Heroes. The tale opens not on Earth, but in the shining royal city of Ayutthaya of Dvaravati, a place so splendid people say heaven has leaned down and rested upon the earth. Its king was devout, learned, generous, and tireless in supporting religion, sponsoring temples, scriptures, images, and monastic halls. Wealth flowed out of his treasuries like bright rivers of gold and silver. Music, dance, craft, and poetry thrived under his protection. Far above, on a radiant height, lived the giant Hyrant. Through powerful rituals, he had gained terrifying strength. Pride swelled in him until he decided he would crush the three worlds. To prove his might, he quite literally gripped and rolled the earth, folding continents under his arms. Panic spread among gods and spirits who raced to Mount Kailasa and bowed before Shiva. They cried out. Hyrant oppressed worshippers, shook the heavens, and now dragged the earth toward destruction. Shiva judged that the demon had gone too far and must be stopped. He sent word to Narai, Vishnu, to destroy the offender. Narai descended to the abyss where Hyrant was manhandling the world. The god changed into the divine boar, Varaha, white, bristling, with tusks like crescent blades. From Narai's navel, a lotus slowly unfolded. Inside the luminous blossom appeared a glorious infant prince, destined to found a royal line upholding order. Indra, at Shiva's behest, carried the child upward. Shiva proclaimed that the boy would anchor prosperity in the triple world and instructed Indra to establish a city for him on Earth. Indra returned, convened the celestial artisans, and prepared to found the new capital. After purifying himself and adorning his body with divine garments and jewels, he mounted the colossal multi-headed elephant Airavata, Erawan. The heavenly procession, with banners, music, and shining spears, descended toward the human realm. Reaching a forest in the east, Indra met 4 ancient sages who had practiced austerities for 100,000 years. They told him the grove was already auspicious and offered a composite name, Ayutthaya of Dvaravati. Indra accepted and assigned the divine architect Vishvakarman to shape the city. By supernatural power, palaces, halls, walls, ponds, and parks sprang up. Tiered roofs glittered with gold and gems. Avenues ran straight. Defenses rang the perimeter. Music and scented breezes promised unending festival life. Peoples from the 4 quarters were gathered to populate it. When all was complete, the gods reported success. Shiva now armed the divine prince, naming him Anomarit, with ring, discus-linked weapons, and blessings of prowess in both virtue and war. Indra summoned Garuda. The prince was bathed, perfumed, dressed in radiant textiles set with gems, and given bow, quiver, mace, and spears. Garuda bore him, amid drums and flying standards, down to the new Ayutthaya. There, Anomarit was enthroned. The tale then shifted perspective to the lofty sphere of Brahma Sahabodhi. He remembered an earlier solar prince exiled to the island of Lanka, a place now unmanaged. Concerned that a valuable lineage might fade, he resolved to plant a fresh center of power there. He ordered preparations. The golden celestial swan was readied. Brahma hosts assembled with parasols, banners, and music. Brahma himself bathed, robed in jeweled cloth, armed with radiant weapons, and mounted the swan. They descended toward a colossal, dark sapphire mountain rising from the sea, an ideal site. Brahma instructed the architect Vishnupram to form a capital. Instantly, walls, moats, armories, drill grounds, palaces, gardens, lotus lakes, and protective layers appeared. The city was named Victorious Lanka. Brahma summoned demon, Rakshasa ministers, and massive forces to staff and defend it. He then addressed a worthy Brahma-born being skilled in occult arts, appointing him ruler. This figure was crowned Chaturafak. As signs of authority, Brahma gave him a sacred trident, a jewel mace, and above all, a crystal umbrella endowed with an extraordinary protective spell. If enemies surrounded the city and Chaturafak raised it, darkness would cloak Lanka from outside sight while those within saw clearly. Chaturafak gratefully accepted and quickly mastered the mantras that made the umbrella unbeatable. Brahma granted him the luminous maiden Malika as chief queen, with 16,000 demon maidens attending magnificence resembling a heavenly court. Having bestowed wealth, power, and blessings, Brahma rose again on the golden swan and returned to the higher realm. In an age when the twin lines of destiny had only just been staked, human kings ascending from the lotus-born prince placed by Narai, and the Yaksha demon power consolidating under Chaturafak and his four-armed heir Listian, there lay between their burgeoning realms a great belt of untamed forest. At the forest's quiet heart lived Ruesi-Kodom, the ascetic Gautama. One dawn, the bird in his hair broke into an excited tumbling chirrup and hopped down across the slope of its living perch to peck gently at the hermit's brow. Kodom had heard the rustle already, laughter not made of woodland shyness, but of a bright, resonant timbre. In a clearing, two boys wrestled in shafts of oblique morning light. They appeared perhaps 7 rainy seasons in height and limb, yet there was a preternatural finish to them. No scabbed knees, no insect-bitten ankles, no dirt beneath the crescent moons of fingernails. The stronger boy, Pali, raised his chin. The lithe one, Sukhreep, tilted his head, measuring the hermit. Neither spoke denial nor confession. They merely nodded. Kodom turned and walked, not waiting to see if they followed. They did. He led them to a river, broad, fast, frenetic with recent rains. The hermit sat upon a flat rock, 2 small earthen bowls, each filled to the brim with clarified oil. "Cross," he said, "and return, with not a single drop lost. Run, if you are swift. Walk, if you are sure. If you cannot, speak truth of your origin, and I shall seek a place for you." Pali seized his bowl, crouched, and launched, feet hammering a rhythm along half-submerged stones, leaping where gaps made direct transit impossible. Sukhreep waited half a breath, watching the river the way a hawk reads eddies in thermal updrafts. Then he moved, lighter, almost skimming, using fallen branches and even, once, the rising back of a great river turtle as stepping support. Not a ripple breached either bowl's lip,